Hi, I'm Joe Rourke. One of the important screens, tabs that are available in the workbook is the Metrics That Matter screen. For the Service Weekly and the Service Daily workbook, this provides basically your key performance metrics that you're comparing against targets for an at-a-glance visual. So take a look at the page. One of the things you'll see is that it's defaulted with the 10 metrics that we feel out of the box would be important to use, but you can modify these, and I'm going to be going through that in a second. What we have is we have a series of quantitative things like balance or number of open tickets, number of completed tickets, and we also have a series of survey and SLA metrics, some of the qualitative information. The data that's presented is the data that is for the current week and 2 previous weeks. So you get a view of a little bit of a trend, but you also see whether or not individual numbers have met or missed their target. We provide a 10-week trend so you can kind of visually see the trending of what's been happening. And for individual weeks, you'll see whether they met or they missed the plan number for that week. There's also an indication of the target. So what I want to do now is I just want to go over and show you how you can modify the information on this, and it's all available on the ticket analysis page. So the ticket analysis page has a section right at the top where you'll see that there are metrics that matter. And the data that's on this page is actually what's driving that main page. Anything you change here will be reflected on that main page, and that's what we're going to do right now. The first thing that we may want to do as an example is maybe rather than opening balance, we want to change this. And I'll show you how this operates. Although everything down below is a calculation, up here these are actually just simply references to calculations down below. And one of the things you'll see is that in this case I'm indicating that this field is calculated based on the following following field down here, the opening balance, so 204, right? And that's basically why I'm getting the value up there, because I'm saying that it's equal to that opening balance. As an example, what I wanted to show was you can also, and I just manually modified before we came in here, I can manually modify and actually add 2 fields down below. So I can change it and say, rather than selecting a field down for the opening balance, maybe what I want to have is I want to have the opening balance of critical and high tickets. So to show you how that operates, and I'll do that for the next field, you would simply change the form of the calculation. You'd say I want to equal, and go down in the same column, and go down to critical and high. And now I have my calculation. Now, you don't have to do that for every field. If I just control insert, and then I go across for all of the date fields that I have, and I insert those, you'll see now I have opening balance values associated for critical and high tickets. Now probably what I'd want to do is I'd want to say, this is actually equal to the opening balance field. I may just want to change the label and say opening critical and high. Okay. Now, one of the things you'll see is I've made changes here on this page. If I go over to the metrics, this is actually changed over to show me my last 3 weeks. All right. And one of the things you'll see is I also currently have a critical, a target here for those numbers, but it's not based on critical and high yet. I'm going to go back to the ticket analysis page, and one of the fields that you'll see after you have the data is you'll see a target and an over or under target. So what I'm going to put in here is, rather than indicating that my target is to be under 220, which would be all tickets, maybe my target is to keep under 49 for my values. And if I do that, I'm going to go back and I'm going to say now it says under 49, and I've missed the last 2 because I was no longer under 49. And basically that's how you modify a lot of the fields that are appearing on this page, by simply modifying the ticket analysis page. Some of the things you'll see here is that sometimes you're looking at having, you're keeping over a number, like maybe you want to close over 400 tickets a week. So that's what your target happens to be. So you can specify this, and it's a pull down where you can specify, what it is that you want to modify. And usually the metric indicates whether or not you're trying to set a low target or a high target to match against. So what are some other examples that you might want to do? Well, one of the things that you might want to do is, backlog over 30 days. You might say, maybe that's not what's important to you. So again, one of the things you can do is highlight this field. It's the easiest thing when you highlight a field. When you move down, you'll actually see it. You'll actually see it highlighted below. And so if I go down and I'm moving down the list of fields, and basically you can choose any field that's in this column to use the data for. So look at all this information that you could choose. It might be that you're interested in opening tickets for a specific group. But what I have right here is it's taking me over 30 days. Maybe what I'm really interested in is the age of my backlog, which is between 14 and 30 days. So what I will do is I will make it 14 to 30 days. So now I've changed that. I will go across. I changed this field here. So this is the field that I changed. You can kind of see, so it changed. So it changed from the column that it was 84 and moved it up to column 83. So 83 is that field. I'm going to copy these across, and now I'll have the data in terms of the number of tickets that are over not 30 days. And what I'll do is I'll copy this over to this field, which is the name. And this is, rather than having it be 84, maybe I want to say 83. Backlog, 14 to 30 days. Now I have that as my target. Again, going over the metric screen, I now have my backlog 14 to 30 days. And that's how you would change any of these fields. If you decide you wanted to replace one of the fields with a different value that's on that tab, you could do that as well. Sometimes what you want to do when you're dealing with some of these tabs, and again, what I'll tell you is that sometimes it's like the data here, it's not the metrics that you want to change, but you want to actually change the ranges that you're displaying. Although we have a separate topic on this, I'll just say is that one of the things you can do is use the criteria button. Criteria button will open up and allow you to actually change the value ranges that are being used for the age of the backlog. So if, in fact, you can kind of see is that I've been playing with some of the numbers 0 to 14, 14 to 45, and these will just line up with the labeling. So you can kind of put your labeling in, put in the values that you want there in terms of this demo data. And that kind of is a summary of how you would modify that main page. Again, you can use the criteria button to change any of the criteria fields that you want to use in terms of overall data, survey ranges and things like that you want to track. It might be interesting, on the main page, you may be interested in saying, although I want the average survey score, maybe I just want to know a count of the number of survey scores that I got above 4, because that kind of would be kind of an interesting indicator. Maybe I have a target to get each week I want to get 2 people to give me over a 4 in surveys, and have that piece of information in there. You can modify and put that data there. So I hope that helps in terms of modifying some of the data that's on the main service metrics that matter page. And thank you for using Autotask. Thank you for using the workbooks, and you have a great day. Thank you.